Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video on the Gooners and Gloves Podcast channel. In today's video, it's going to be the 64th Gooners and Gloves Podcast, and I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and reactions to Arsenal's game versus Crystal Palace in the Premier League. This was a really entertaining 2-2 draw, an unfortunate result obviously because it is now our 13th draw of the season and also puts Liverpool within 1 point of the title. But that being said, it was a very entertaining game of football. Both teams played very expansive, very open, very dynamic, free-flowing football, and for that reason, I'm just glad that we were treated to an entertaining game, and definitely very surprising at how entertaining the game was and how open it was, because this is a game that didn't really mean anything to either Palace or Arsenal in terms of the league. But in spite of that, we got a really entertaining game of football. Obviously not happy with the fact that it's a draw, but you know, it is what it is. It's our 13th of the season, so we've certainly drawn a lot of games, and this is just another one of them. But that being said, this was a really entertaining game of football, so I'm going to go on and go over the goals, the assists, how the game went, and obviously just how I'm feeling. So let's go for it. Obviously, tonight's game was very significant because had Arsenal lost, Liverpool would currently be champions, but because of the draw, Liverpool still need one more point for the title. Obviously, they'll win it on the weekend. I don't think anybody doubts that. There's no way, you know, Spurs are getting any sort of result there, so it's very clear. But now, even if they draw, they'll still win. So yeah, I think it's very clear Liverpool have won it. There's no doubt about that. We knew that heading into the game. I think the big priority, obviously it would have been nice to win, don't get me wrong, but I think the big priority tonight was to at least just make sure Liverpool don't get it tonight and at least have to, you know, play a match to get it. So yeah, Sunday, almost certainly Liverpool will be champions. It is what it is. It's unfortunate, but we've known for a while now, you know, credit to them. They'll go on and win it, and, you know, fair play to them. But let's get into what was a very entertaining game of football. So a very good start for Arsenal as Jakub Kiwior scored, and I'm not gonna lie, I was buzzing. I'm really happy for Jakub Kiwior. The guy's been so good ever since Gabriel got injured, and I'm just a big fan of the guy, so I'm absolutely thrilled that he scored. It's a really good header. Odegaard with a fantastic delivery, and then Kiwior gets a great header on it, gets it past Henderson, and fair play to Kiwior. I'm so happy for him. You could see what the goal meant for him, and I'm just ecstatic for him. Good for Jakub Kiwior. Well deserved. Absolutely brilliant goal. Great header. And Odegaard, good to see him getting some sort of return as well. His 6th assist of the season, I think it was. So, you know, just good to see Odegaard getting something, and to be fair, he had a couple of other chances later in the game which he should have buried, but it's a good ball from Odegaard, and then Jakub Kiwior with a fantastic header. Really good, really precise, and it's just good seeing Kiwior. For me, I thought was fantastic tonight. Really good performance. Aside from the goal that he scored, his passing was excellent, his vision, his tackles, everything was just really good, and I do think that he's really, you know, taken the opportunity incredibly well ever since Gabriel got injured, and I think he's been fantastic. So let's show Kiwior some love. He's an excellent player, really good defender, and I think he was brilliant tonight, so fair play to him. Great goal, really good header off an Odegaard cross, or sorry, a corner, not a cross. Great goal from Jakub Kiwior off a Martin Odegaard assist, so that was a really good start to the game. And from there, naturally, you know, the game was just a bit slow. I mean, obviously, this game doesn't really mean much to either team, so they're not going to go crazy and take chances, although obviously, as we saw in the second half, they basically both abandoned that mindset, and it became a lot more entertaining. But kind of throughout the first half, it was kind of you know, a bit boring, I'd say, a bit just kind of slow, monotonous, and that's just from both teams. You know, naturally, you know, Palace have a really big semi-final coming up, Arsenal have a really big semi-final coming up, so they're not taking too many risks. But I have to give Crystal Palace some serious credit for this goal. Eberechi Eze with an absolute worldie of a goal. Brilliant volley, excellent volley. It's a corner delivery from Wharton, and then Eze absolutely just bangs it in. Brilliant volley, like I can't even hate on that. It's an absolutely fantastic goal. Volleys it into the ground completely past Raya, and you just have to you know, give a round of applause. It was a fantastic goal from Eze, definitely one of Palace's best goals this season. Obviously, it sucks that it was scored against Arsenal. You know, it sucks that one of their best goals was scored against us, but fair play to Eberechi Eze. It's a really good goal from Eze. It's a fantastic finish, really good. Wharton with a good corner delivery, and then Eze just puts the laces through it, hits it into the ground, and it manages to bounce into the goal. It was a fantastic finish, and just fair play to Eze. You have to give that credit, like, massive respect for him, and it was just a brilliant goal. So fair play to Eberechi Eze. Good corner delivery from Wharton, and then a very solid delivery by Eberechi Eze to make it 1-1. Yet another clean sheet gone, so again, it just sucks because we're trying to keep more clean sheets recently, but you can't even really hate on that goal. It was just a fantastic finish, and fair play to Eberechi Eze. Not really much that Raya could have done about it. I think maybe the defenders could have done a bit better to get a block on it. Raya, I don't think really could have done too much about it, so yeah, fair play to Eze. It's a fantastic goal, and it was definitely you know, definitely electrified the match back up. It definitely got the Crystal Palace fans going. So we then and then I'm not going to lie, throughout the rest of the half, up until we scored, because we did go and score again in that half, I'm not going to lie, Palace were definitely on top. They were creating good chances, and I think at one point they actually showed the XG, and I think it was around like the 40th minute, and I was shocked because Arsenal had 0.13 XG and Palace had 1.07, so that's a really, really big difference. That's a very significant difference. But thankfully, a few minutes after that graphic was shown, Leandro Trossard finishes off a great chance, so it was a really good ball from Yuri and Timber, and then Trossard, nice composed finish, slots it into the back of the nets past Dean Henderson to give Arsenal a 2-1 lead heading into half-time. So that was just really good again to kind of settle the nerves for Arsenal. Obviously, you could tell that, we were still kind of feeling it a bit, and Palace were definitely putting on great pressure, and they created some good opportunities prior to that goal. But Yuri and Timber gets the ball across, and Timber gets the ball across, and then Trossard with a very nice composed finish. It's been really good seeing him do well in the league recently. Obviously, we had a double game week, and speaking of which, I do apologise for the fact that I didn't get a video up for the Ipswich game. It was a really good performance, but unfortunately I just didn't quite have the time to, so I do apologise. It sucks that I couldn't get a video up for that game because it was such a good performance, but it's just good to see Trossard continuing his good form. He obviously did really well in the Ipswich game, getting 2 goals, and he got another goal tonight, so fair play to him. Obviously it was a double game week for us, so it's a really good double game week for Leandro Trossard, and I actually have Trossard on fantasy, and he smashed it for me on fantasy FPL, absolutely killed it for me. Obviously he got his 2 goals against Ipswich, and then he scored again tonight, so really, really good performance from Trossard on my FPL, so shout out to him. In fairness, I do actually have both Eze and Mateta as well, so as much as I'm obviously not happy that they scored and not happy about the fact there was a draw, the one consolation that I got is that I've got Eze, Trossard and Mateta all on my FPL, so it was a good performance on my FPL at least, so that's my one little bit of consolation. But Leandro Trossard gets the finish, good ball from Timber, and then Trossard, nice composed finish, slots it into the back of the net, and that's how the first half ended, 2-1 for Arsenal. So then we headed into the second half, and again, I'm not gonna lie, Palace were definitely still looking threatening, but I think we were starting to improve our defense as well. I'm not gonna lie, and also we were starting to create more chances in the second half, which was good to see. So yeah, some good opportunities. Not gonna lie, Palace did have some good ones. I think Eze, Sarr, so there were definitely some good opportunities for Palace. But to be fair, Arsenal had their fair share of good opportunities. Trossard had a really good one. Odegaard had a good one. In fact, I think Odegaard actually shot a ball which Declan Rice accidentally blocked, so that was a bit ridiculous. Yeah, literally, he had the ball slotted across to him from Lewis Skelly, Odegaard shoots, and Odegaard, sorry, I'm getting so mixed up here. Lewis Skelly passes it to Odegaard shoots, and Rice blocks it by mistake, so that was a bit unfortunate. So to be fair, Arsenal definitely had some good chances in the second half, some good opportunities. We also had a disallowed goal in the second half, which to be fair was fairly disallowed, but man, it just sucks that it didn't stand, because Timber was completely battled for the ball that he tried to keep out of play, and he actually got it across to Martinelli, and Martinelli had an easy tap in, but unfortunately it did seem like the ball was out, and either way it did also seem like Timber was offside, so it really sucks. Obviously fairly disallowed. I'm not for a second saying it should have stood, but just would have been really, really nice if that goal stood, because Timber with a beautiful ball, I mean, somehow manages to get it from pretty much just going out towards the front of the Palace goal, and then Martinelli finishes it. So it definitely would have been one of the best assists of the season, no doubt about it. It would have been one of the best assists of the season, but unfortunately, due to various circumstances, it was disallowed. Then, of course, we reached the unfortunate moment where Jean-Philippe Mateta scores a brilliant goal. Again, both of Palace's goals tonight were just so good. So it's an unfortunate mistake for Martin Odegaard, where he doesn't quite keep his feet under him. He falls down, and Jean-Philippe Mateta takes the opportunity. Raya was also quite far off his line, so I definitely don't think we should only blame Odegaard for this, because Raya was really far off his line as well. So Raya came off his line, Odegaard also fell down, and Mateta just completely dinks it over Raya. And again, I have to give them credit. It was a great goal. Fair play to Palace. It was an absolutely fantastic goal. Really, really good finish. And I'm not gonna lie, Palace were definitely knocking at the door before that as well. Sarr had a really good opportunity which Saliba was able to block. Munoz had another really good one which I think Munoz headed it across, and then somehow Sarr couldn't quite bury it. So I remember Munoz got a header from the corner, and then Sarr just about missed it. So there were some really good chances for Palace at this point, and I was definitely getting a bit nervous. And Palace were definitely knocking at the door, and unfortunately they were able to break into the door, as Jean-Philippe Mateta with a fantastic finish to make it 2-2. And from there we definitely tried our best. I think from that point onwards, Arsenal probably had the better chances. A couple of opportunities for Palace, but I think Arsenal were just trying their best to get a goal, but unfortunately it just didn't happen, and that's how it ended, 2-2. So all in all, not the worst performance from Arsenal. Great goals from Kivior and Trossard, and Odegaard and Timber get some assists, and definitely some good opportunities, were utilised. But to be fair, Palace also did well. Eze and Mateta scored. Wharton got an assist. So fair play to them. Honestly, as I said, I can't really argue with the result. Palace had created a lot of opportunities. They were definitely knocking at the door a long time, before that second goal, and even after that second goal, they had, I think, immediately after, Sarr had a good opportunity, and I think Munoz as well. So I can't really argue with it. It was a great performance by Palace as well. Fair play to him. Obviously, it sucks, and but all in all, not the worst performance from Arsenal. I'm seeing a lot of people getting nervous for the PSG game. End of the day, I try not to focus on future games when looking at games like this. End of the day, we already saw that we had draws before the first and second leg of the Real Madrid game, and we all know how that turned out. So not going to let this worry me too much for the Paris Saint-Germain game, but it's just one of those things. It's another draw, so Liverpool now 1 point behind the title, so obviously they'll now win it on the weekend. Unfortunate, but what can we do? We tried our best, just a lot of bad circumstances this season, but the season is very much not over. We've still got the Paris Saint-Germain game to go, the 2 games, so just like I did for the Real Madrid game, I will be making a pre-Paris Saint-Germain game, just giving my thoughts heading into that tie, so do look forward to that. A big week of content upcoming, so obviously I've got the Conor Benn, Chris Eubank prediction coming out on Friday. I've then got the reaction. I'm actually going to be doing it Saturday night because I plan on actually buying the pay-per-view. So on Saturday night, as soon as the fight is finished, I'm going to make a reaction to it on the podcast. And then, of course, I've got the pre-Arsenal versus PSG video on Monday, and then the Arsenal versus PSG first leg reaction on Tuesday. So lots of content to come up on the channel. Again, I do apologize for not getting a video up about the Ipswich game, so I couldn't quite cover the full double game week, but I was able to get this one out. All in all, sucks that we drew, but a very entertaining game. Not going to lie, really enjoyed this one. Very entertaining game, and credit to Palace as well. But without further ado, I'll catch you guys on another podcast soon. Bye bye.